So this is my first impressions of AC EVO. I drove it a little bit yesterday and on launch day. I'm in S2000 in Assetto and I've played Iracing and a few other things. And the cars feel super nice. Realism, super nuanced, lovely weight transfer. To be fast, need to be super precise and set up the car before corner entry. The way the car responds to inputs and changes of inputs, engine braking, downshifting mid-corner, it's super realistic. I would probably say it feels more nuanced than iRacing. There is definitely a way to drive in here, and I'm finding the way the car behaves, it's so realistic. Off camber, on camber, uphill, what gear you're in, what steering angle you've put in, how hard you're braking, how much weight transfer there is on the front and back. Like over here, downshift second, and the back comes round so progressively. Over here, this is like on a slope. If I downshift now, the back wants to come round, and you're constantly having to put inputs into the wheel to feel for grip. It's not a case of like a lot of things where you put in an input, hold it there, watch the car go. The car's constantly dancing, and it's such an immersive process. You actually feel like you're driving a car. Other things, GT7, iRacing, often you put in a bit of steering angle, you turn the wheel, you turn in. The car essentially kind of, once you turn into the corner, the car holds a line. It doesn't really adjust its line. In iRacing, it's initial corner entry that is the most important, and once you're through the corner, there is not much adjustment. In here, once you're in the corner now I have to apply credit lock. There is actually, from just after entry phase, it's so much to do, where in iRacing and all the other sims there's not a lot to do once you've turned into course. In iRacing, this is up to here, you're set, and then it's just riding it out. There's not much change in the car attitude, whereas here I turn in now this is where I have to work from just before the apex. It's a lot of work. So like I brake here, downshift second. If I downshift first, see the back comes around, and here I'm having to work to actually correct the car and drive, because the car is changing its attitude like substantially more than iRacing. So in that sense, it feels super realistic. And like I downshift there, you see downhill, off cam, like, sloped corner, cambered. The back wants to come, the back again wants to overtake. Carrying momentum through the corner is also important, but the car really dances a lot more, I would say, in here. Force feedback wise, iRacing and a lot of the things previously gave road feel in a way that was okay. It was more of surface based suspension, but this, it gives force feedback, I feel, from the steering wheel forces on the tyre. So going over these rumble strips, it feels as if rubber is going over them, rather than in iRacing, AC competition, it feels just really like brutal. Here it doesn't feel as brutal. It actually feels like the rubber is going over the rumble strip. So I feel the stern forces give up, like the contact patch deformation forces are coming through. So there's no road feel, because the tires often absorb a lot of road feel, and there's not a lot of force feedback. It's just more as if you're parked up. When the car's parked up and your steering wheel is heavy and there's resistance, it's that, but then it's just the loads on the wheel changes with speed. On this compression here, it really just ramps up, and as soon as the car settles, it then goes a little lighter. Downhill, the weight's on the front, so the suspension is compressed and the steering feels heavy. And as soon as you go uphill, it lightens a bit. Now for this uphill section, I've put the power on, weight's on the back, front's unloaded. It's gone light because the steering forces are on the back. We got downshifted too, see? That really wouldn't happen in iRacing. The car wouldn't fishtail. GT7 wouldn't fishtail. Really, you have to be driving on point, and I really enjoy the physics. The force feedback in iRacing does feel better. Original ACC feels more immersive. Realistic wise though, yeah, the forces coming through the wheel probably are more realistic to what you would feel what you actually do feel in a real car, because you don't really get suspension and road bumps. But we're sim racers, we like to know what we're going over for immersion, and they can add that because everything is digital, but they have chosen not to add it. So you will just feel the steering forces, which kind of makes it feel a little bit numb. But it is one of those things. Okay, do you just transmit steering forces and not the road feel? You then get to a situation where you have to take one or the other. Driving experience wise, unreal. I enjoy it more than R Factor 2. I tried R Factor. R Factor 2 force feedback is good. Didn't really quite get on with it, and plus the lack of limitation of cars, only race cars. iRacing, great force feedback, great feeling on turning, how you set up the car, how you come off the brakes, super realistic. Mid corner, the cars are not as lively as this. They spin a lot more, yes, that doesn't mean they're lively, but the attitude of the car in this one is transient. Like right here, very, very transient. Up, down, front, back, left, right. A lot of changes in attitude, like the grip ebbs and flows from just for the apex to after the apex. Like the middle third of the corner, it really does ebb and flow front to back, left to right, and it really feels quite realistic. So in that sense, very, very, very nice sim. Driving needs to be precise, set up the car. Your downshifts have to be like here. Normally I would just smash down the downshifts, but no, I can't do it. Now I downshift. I want to shift to second. Now if I shift to second, it kicks like this. So so I apply a bit of gas so it doesn't upset the car. You really have to drive in this sim. Now I set it up. Now pick up the gas. Now start picking up speed. You really have to drive this sim as if you're actually in a real car, which I'm really a big fan of. Force feedback, not the best, but steering forces in real life don't actually give you suspension bumps. That's actually the suspension vehicle body that the car bounces up when you feel bumps and you go over, hit a curb. You feel that, but you don't really feel it in modern cars, like you don't feel it in here. They can add it. I would like them to add it, but it's one of those trade-offs. But as steering forces, driving physics and physics model, I think it's pretty unreal. I am extremely impressed. So I would probably give this a 9 out of 10. If they added a force feedback, I would give it a 10 out of 10. Very good.